All right. How about keep it open or close it out?
Yeah, let's sure.
All right. This is By-Mageddon Part 1, so you might have some serious questions of if you can continue to start these players, or you might have no choice, honestly. And we start with Caleb Williams, who's under 12 points in 2 of his last 3 games. He's at the Ravens. But Matthew, feels like there's still some hope here for a bounce back in fantasy for Caleb.
I think it's all about the matchup here. I'm keeping it open on Caleb Williams. Look, understand, we have 6 teams on a bye. And again, you've got Jaden Daniels hurt. If you're in a Superflex league, Bryce Young also banged up. He's going to miss the week. So in a week where there's not a lot of options, especially in 2 quarterback leagues or Superflex leagues, I do think Caleb Williams, who's been bad the last couple of weeks, make no mistake about it, from a fantasy perspective, I think against the Ravens, he gets it going. I'm at QB 11. Look, the Ravens don't get home. Over the last 4 weeks, they're 32nd in pressure rate, right? No team gets the quarterback less than the Ravens over the last month. They're giving up touchdown passes at the 5th highest rate. They allow the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. And even though their defense is getting a little bit healthier out of the bye, Jay, I don't think it's going to be enough. The Bears' offense feels like it's rolling a little bit.
It does. And I think one thing, I still think he's keeping it open on Caleb Williams just because of the state of buys. But we'll say the Ravens, their last game, I think it's a good sign for the Ravens that they were able to keep the Rams to 17 points. Now, conditions are a little bit tough, but the fact that the Rams, I know Puka Nacua wasn't there, but without Puka Nacua, they just put up 35 on the Jags, who have an okay defense.
For sure.
And so the fact that the Ravens were competitive, that gives you a little bit of hope. Also, while the Bears have been rolling, okay, Cowboys defense, Raiders defense, Commanders defense, Saints defense, okay? They haven't really now, the Ravens are not substantially better on defense than any of those, so you suspect that Caleb should have some success. But, yeah, I don't think the Ravens are going to be the turnstiles that they were coming into that Rams game.
But over-under here is 49.5. Obviously, our friends at DraftKings feel like there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. Feels like it's a game, again, in a week in which you don't have a lot of options. It feels like a game to target. I still don't have him as a top 10 option, but I do think, are you starting Caleb Williams or not? I do think in this case you do. I have him 11. I'm with you. And by the way, they've had 2 weeks to prepare. The Ravens need to win this game for their season. They are similar to me in that sense. I am Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I'm John Harbaugh.
They have hope, though.
They have hope. Yeah. That's correct. They have hope, but I have 2 titles. Let me know when the last time they've been to the Super Bowl is. I'm just saying. Coach Harbaugh, no big deal.
Of course, it was with Joe Flacco. Was the answer to that question.
Comeback player of the year.
Unfortunately.
Jay Stabs asked Caleb Williams or Jackson Dart the rest of the season.
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart, if you tell me that he's going to get through the season healthy. There's much more of a health risk with Jackson Dart, but at the same time, you take that risk. Everyone's a health risk.
That's close. But I think I feel better about Dart's rushing. Williams gets you some points with his legs, but with Dart, it's an active part of their offense where they call design runs. Yeah, exactly.
Launches himself at the goal line, at defenders. Yeah. It's great for fantasy.
Great for fantasy. I also feel like they're going to be more in comeback mode. I think especially we saw this with Monungai, but it feels like the Bears' run game especially is starting to get going here. And so as a result of what he was doing, I think they'll be able to run more, especially as it gets cold in Chicago down the stretch of the fantasy playoffs. So I think it'll be a more balanced offense.
Yeah.
And so, I think Dart has probably more fantasy potential.
I think the thing and why it is Dart is that Dart is going to be the central protagonist of every Giants game, right? Jackson Dart just infects, has negative connotations, but he infects everything around him. He is the offense.
Make magic.
Yeah. Whereas Caleb Williams, he just had a game where he did absolutely nothing, and he didn't need to because they were able to run the ball, and he had 4.7 fantasy points or whatever. So the fact that Dart is just going to be so ever-present and just doing and has to do more stuff, I think that makes him the choice.
Yeah.
All right, guys,
before we move on real quickly, just because we did all the stuff with Tyrod Taylor, the only thing I just want to say is here just to, again, we'll track that injury, but if he plays, I think he's a mid-tier QB2. I'm at QB 16 in my initial ranks prior to the news about the day-to-day with a knee injury, but he's got Cincinnati, which is, a bottom 3 pass defense, and we think there's signs of life, obviously, with Joe Flacco under center for the Bengals. So that game actually has sneaky shootout potential between, Tyrod and Joe Flacco. Good God. But I think he's a mid-tier QB2.
Yeah. The Bengals being 6.5-point favorites in that game is such an indictment on the New York Jets. The Joe Flacco with the Bengals defense is a 6.5-point favorite in an NFL game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, if Sauce doesn't play, you'd think Chase and T. Higgins go wild in that game.
Jamar Chase has a 42% target rate. with Joe Flacco.
I
It's
do believe
completely
it.
insane. No one,
I thought it'd be higher.
I don't think anyone in the past 5 years has a target rate higher than 35% over a full season.
If I suddenly made you quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's true.
Let me see. Oh, let's see. I could try to hit, Noah Fant on a slant down the middle.
But there's Jamar Chase.
Andre Yoshevich, run a go route. Or, oh, by the way, I've got Jamar Chase in the flat.
I think a sneaky thing that I do think is real. So Tua is the only quarterback who throws the ball faster than Joe Flacco this year. Joe Flacco just gets it out. He's, 40, 41 years old. He doesn't want to get hit anymore. Like, he didn't sign up for this, for long developing plays, and he can't move it at all either. So he's just going to throw to the first read, and the first read is very often Jamar Chase.
Yeah, but that was my point the whole time when everyone was giving us crap about, that offensive line, he's going to get killed. I'm like, he gets rid of the ball quickly.
Yeah.
Like, he took 1 sack against the Steelers. 1 sack. Just saying. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.